Hi, my name's Jacob. I am the owner of Common Fields here in Corvallis. We own a small tap room and food truck pod. We've been open about 3.5 years. Just had our 3-year anniversary this year. Yeah, it's a neat little spot. We focus on local and sustainable food and drinks. All the non-alcoholic drinks we make ourselves here in-house. So we make our own root beers, lemonades, all kinds of sodas. We partner with different local companies for tea and coffee. And then all of the beer that we purchase is independently owned from Oregon. So everything has to be self-distributed and can't be through a big company. And it's kind of fun finding super local beers that nobody's heard of and supporting them. For this, I was actually working for a small independent brewery, running sales distribution, but I've worked a lot in the sales departments and also in food and beverage. So bartending, working in kitchens. And Common Fields is kind of a culmination of all of my hobbies. I really love food and drink, so we kind of focused on a place we would want to go and hang out. And it's also owned by my wife, Cherish. But yeah, so we like board games. We're very family friendly. We are one of the only restaurants that I know of that actually allows dogs inside. So dogs are welcome anywhere on the property. That was kind of a fun hurdle to get over, but we're really excited to have everybody's furry friends here. Yeah, and that's a little bit about me. Have I heard of Merchant Maverick? No, I have not. What's one challenge you are facing and how can the community help? I mean, I think the biggest challenge with what we are is because we're primarily an outside venue. In the winter months, people generally don't think of outside venues as places that they can come and hang out. It is kind of unique as we have a lot of heating elements outside. We have heated benches that we designed ourselves. So a lot of the benches, you can turn them on and flip a switch and then they'll warm up. So it keeps people nice and warm in the winter. I think just kind of making people aware that we are still a really cool place to come hang out in the winter, just because it's not sunny and bright outside. It's still a cool spot, and we have lots of covered spaces, and we keep all of our activities going year round. So it's not just a summer spot. I think that's probably one of the bigger hurdles, is just kind of getting people aware that we're not just an outside venue that's only good in the summer. All right, what is the best part of being a small business owner? I've always been probably a workaholic, so it's nice to kind of be a workaholic for yourself as opposed to somebody else, even though you generally make less money when you're working for yourself, but you just have a little more, it's more rewarding, I'd say. What is your top piece of advice for small business owners just starting out? Just keep at it. It's a lot of work. It takes a special kind of crazy to start your own business. So if you've already started your own business, you hopefully fit into that category, and just keep working hard and it'll pay off eventually, but it takes a little while. So don't expect it to be, easy off the bat or, make a bunch of money. Tell us about this small business. I think I talked a little bit about it in the beginning, but yeah, Common Fields, kind of our motto is beer, food, family. And that's kind of really what we wanted to lead into. We wanted to create a place that we have kids, and a place that we would want to bring our kids that felt welcoming, but it didn't feel like a kid playground. So really, all walks of life, everybody feels welcome here. And we try to really have a diverse list of activities and things going on, a place kids can be, and it doesn't feel like a jungle gym. We have a little kids play area, a couple kids little play areas. We have sidewalk chalk people can buy and draw anywhere. And there's just a lot of little nooks. But we want it to be welcoming for all people. So, college students love to be here. We have free Wi-Fi and study places. We do live music, trivia, comedy, drag shows. I mean, just about anything you can think of, we do here. Yeah, and then focusing on the food. So we wanted to have, high quality food. We looked for food that wasn't really present in Corvallis. So we have all the food trucks we actually own ourselves, which is kind of unique. So people think of a food truck pod as like, oh, a bunch of different food trucks. We actually own them all, which is part of why when you're here, you actually order all the food here at the bar. So all the food, drinks are ordered at the bar, and then you go to the food trucks to pick up the food. We love board games. So one thing we offer is board game nights, and people can check out board games anytime, get discounts on food and drink if they're playing board games. We have a whole wall of board games people can check out, which is kind of neat. And then being very kind of family friendly, dog friendly. So just kind of all the hobbies we have in one spot. And again, really focusing on local. So, all the food we get is from local purveyors or local farms. If a farm doesn't carry, there's a lot of food that, you can't get locally to Oregon. So if we can't get that, we, get it from local purveyors. We don't use any big companies like Food Service America or any of that Cisco stuff. And then same with beers, we focus on really, really local beer, wine and cider. Everything has to be self-distributed and independently owned for us to carry them. So a lot of the breweries we actually drive to and pick up beer, or they'll drive to us directly. So it's kind of a fun way to meet new people and get excited about really small local beer that nobody's heard of. The other thing that's kind of cool is we try to keep our prices as inexpensive as possible. All of our alcohol is line price, so it's $7 across the board for everything. And so we get a lot of beers that's really hard to get. So you might see it in some other bigger cities for like $12 for a little 6-ounce pour or small pours. We're able to kind of keep it all line priced, and we adjust the pour sizes accordingly. But yeah, so that's a little bit about our business. We basically run this like a restaurant and a kitchen. So instead of having one kitchen in the back, we have 4 kitchens separated out. And so they're all different concepts. And then we have the 4th kitchen. So we have 4 concepts really split between 3 kitchens. And a 4th kitchen is going to be like our bakery and our prep kitchen. But really just kind of splitting it up into different areas and having that feel of a food truck pod. But the nice thing about this is we have complete control of all the cuisine. It's all of our staff, so we can make sure our business hours are always the same. One thing that always frustrated me going to food truck pod is you never know what cart's open, the hours, sometimes this, that. And here they're always open. So when people come here, we don't have as many cuisine. We only have, 5 trucks, 4 cuisines, but they're always going to be open. And so that's kind of nice. It also gives us the flexibility to really pick the cuisine that we want to have here and make sure they're all very, very different, unique, and something that people haven't maybe tried. Corvallis being a small town, we don't have as much food options. So we wanted to do stuff that, you didn't have. And so we have a German truck that's really fun. We have a poke truck. We have a Mediterranean kind of fusion truck that's really good. And we have a pupuseria and tamales. We looked at food we liked, but then also food that wasn't represented in town. So that was kind of the big thing. And then also preface the pupuseria. So that is actually owned by friends of ours. So even though that's kind of the one exception, but none of the trucks rotate. So and they're all done like little tiny homes. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, I think quite a bit. I mean, just all the different things we do, really trying to focus on diversity. And it's one of those that seem like there's like an ADHD amount of just stuff going on here, but somehow it all works. And so when you come here, you're kind of like surprised, like, oh, there's so many cool things going on. And depending on what you're in, you could be like, I don't drink at all, and I just want good food. And we have tons of non-alcoholic options, making it be a place that doesn't feel like a primarily drinking establishment. And again, if you have kids, it's a place we want to go. There's not a lot of places that are really truly kid-friendly here. So I think what draws us apart from everybody else is we tried to look at everything that we thought Corvallis needed more of and kind of put that all into one. So when you show up here, no matter what you're into, you're going to find something you like and you're going to be excited about the space. Just to kind of continue doing what we like to do. I mean, I love creating food, and I've been really into the beer and alcohol community. So yeah, just kind of slowly growing what Common Fields is and coming up with new ideas. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of just what we're already doing, but continuing to do it. And yeah. We're still waiting for the success part. I mean, we're still new, so it's like there's a lot. I mean, it's cool to see how busy we are. I think, yeah, once we were consistently, because one thing is we opened during the pandemic, which was very challenging, had a lot of struggles itself. And we had a lot of open, close for about a year, trying to figure out how we were going to operate through the pandemic, how we were going to make our business work. And I think after we had closed for a couple of months to figure a lot of stuff out, kind of redo some stuff here and open back up, and to see the place fill up instantly and never stop being just full of people. And we're like, oh wow, this is like, I think people really get what we're doing and seem to appreciate it. So you never know, you might have a really cool idea and nobody else gets it, so you don't do well. So that's always the risk of starting your own business. Yeah, so we definitely kind of share everything and are cross-train ourselves everywhere. But generally, she will focus more on the day-to-day kind of kitchen operations, and I'll kind of focus more on the bar operations. But again, we really work kind of everywhere. She does maybe more of the behind-the-scenes like bookkeeping and accountant stuff and some website stuff, and I focus on like social media and event coordinating. So we kind of split down the middle all the stuff, but we definitely have a lot of overlap everywhere. Yeah, I mean, they're all mine, so that's hard to kind of pick favorites. But our newest one is the poke one. I really like that, and people seem to really get the poke we're doing. It is very different, and they're bowls that are like pre-made, not pre-made, but like they're pre-designed, so you can't just pick things you want. And we've got very unique kind of flavors. One focused on Korean banchan, and so it's like a very unique thing. The other one's more Japanese inspired. So I think anytime you do something like a brand new product and put it out there, you're always like, oh, what do people think? Especially because everything we do isn't traditional. We try to be, take some of those traditional flavors, but then really make it our own and using local ingredients and stuff. So you're always a little nervous how people might be receptive to that, but people have been really, really excited. We sell out most days, so that's really cool. So yeah, I've been excited about that, but I do like them all. I think Kalamata Bistro is probably still might be my favorite just because that's what we started with. Before we started this place, we always had Kalamata Bistro as like a little food truck that we took around. So part of opening this place too was looking for a place to put our food truck. And there wasn't really anything in Corvallis. So we're like, I guess we'll have to open our own place to put it. And then from there, it kind of grew to what it is now and owning all of the food trucks and the business too, the common fields. So yeah. Yeah, it grew from a food truck. We had Kalamata Bistro for about 14 years. It started at Farmers Market as a little tiny pop-up that we drove around in our little Prius, and yeah, we would just make little homemade hummuses and baklava and sell them to people, and then it kind of grew from there over 14 years to a full menu. I think we had gone through about 300 items over those 14 years that we tested through our different festivals and farmers markets, and then we eventually built an actual food truck, and then a couple years after that, we looked for a place to start it, and that was where we stumbled upon this. It was an old gas station that was for sale. Yeah, so found this and kind of looked around. I was like, oh, I think we can make this work, and kind of went from there. And now we've got common fields. From other small businesses, for sure, it's hard. Any small town, and it can be hard to get a lot of support, maybe from government and stuff, and local towns. But as far as other local small businesses, we're all really good friends. A lot of us know each other, and we share a lot of stuff. So say if I run out of this, like, hey, I'm out of toilet paper, or delivered was shorted, they'll come and like, hey, I'll bring you that, or a place is out of CO2. We're like, oh, I'll give you one of my extra tanks to use. So we all work together a lot. We've actually formed a small group here in town that we all kind of support each other. It's really focusing on small restaurants specifically. So that's been nice. We meet monthly and just kind of talk about stuff, and say if somebody's 86 from a bar, we'll share that, and we have a group chain. So if there's anything important going on, we'd be like, no, hey, this person was doing this here, be aware, and stuff like that. So it's been a lot. It's been really nice having that support. And I found that's really grown from, us starting. I feel like there's a transition, and there always is in most places, of, kind of the new businesses, all the new younger businesses starting, where older ones are selling off and or closing. So with that, I feel like all these new businesses kind of changed to where we all have this camaraderie, where before it was like, everybody's against each other. Like, oh, we don't, we're trying to do better in the other place, but here we're all like trying to help each other and kind of view it as like, hey, if we're all successful, Corvallis is going to be successful. And we want to really bring more people here. I mean, I think it's great. Food truck's a great way to get into the restaurant industry because it's definitely low overhead. I think what's important and what will help people succeed is taking it seriously, not being like, oh, it's a food truck, so I can just kind of work on the weekends or work when I want. I mean, if you want to be successful, you need to really work hard and grind. I think also what's important is when you're building a food truck or starting these new things, really making sure you research all the codes and reach out to the fire department, to the city, to the health department, in advance before you actually start building or start your business, because a pretty common mistake and a very costly mistake is a lot of people will do all that, and then when they're ready to open, they reach out and they find out that everything they did was wrong, and they spend tons of money fixing it. So that's definitely can be a very costly mistake that new business owners make. So vendor rundown. So for POS, we use Toast. Nice POS. We've kind of went through a few different ones, but we landed on Toast, and yeah, they work really well. They also do the credit card processing. Websites, we do all of our own web design and stuff. I believe we use Weebly right now. And then banking, we use Umpqua Bank.